Welcome to day 23, and let's get into what phase 3 is all about, which is putting together what to do in that pause that is created by your new self-awareness. So, in your awareness now, you're kind of knowing what it feels like to feel good. And so, you're kind of noticing when something's interfering with that. And that's the purpose of the awareness, is to have that noticing of when your frequency is dropping because of something in your environment or a thought in your head. And it creates this pause. This awareness says, oh, this is about to happen. What am I going to do? And a lot of times it is caused by an outside thing. It is someone doing something or saying something to you, or something in your environment, like another driver, or something at work. I mean, I was a teacher. Every single day we got emails that were triggers, very triggering, especially during COVID. So I wanted to explain what a trigger is. The trigger is the thing that causes your vibration to go down. It causes you to have a thought, and you have a reaction to the thing, and now your frequency is dropping. And hopefully you're noticing that, because that means you have time to decide what to do next. Instead of just having a reaction to the car that swerved, oh, you're honking and flipping them off or whatever. Like, instead of escalating into their energy, you decide you want to stay calm and have that thing just whoop past you and not affect you one little bit. Which is hard, because in today's society, I mean, we have all these, what do they call them? The shows, real life things, like people living their lives and they're on camera. Like, of course, it's all fake and scripted, but what's the purpose of that? Even social media, I notice at night when I'm scrolling on TikTok, the For You page turns from like tarot readings and the kind of thing I like to watch, to cops and altercations, people getting arrested and people fighting in the airport and on airplanes, and I'm like, what happened to my For You page? Why is it all this stuff? Well, the reason it's all this stuff is because the people in charge, whoever they are, the people in charge of the whole world, not just our country, want us to be in fear. When we're in fear, we're controllable. And so they create anything to create fear. So all the movies you watch that make you feel like you get so involved in a character and the thing that's going on, and there's always a bad thing, and there's always drama, and there's always suspense and mystery, those are low vibrational feelings. I just want to tell you, when you get ready to watch something, know that you're going to have those feelings. And when you're done, maybe wash them off. Like, just literally use your hand to clear your energy around you, your auric field, and say, nope, none of that stuck. I'm still my happy self. Wow, that was entertaining. Doesn't change my life. Because the reason they show us all this shit they show us is because they want us to be feeling in low vibrations so they can manipulate us to be whatever they want us to be. So now we have this pause that we're creating when something drops our frequency, and now we decide what we want to do and how we want to deal with it. Because that's what I wanted to talk about, was our emotions and how they're on a spectrum. And I don't know. Let's just say I made up words that made sense to me to give you the visual of what was going on. But if you can imagine that each frequency, because teachers always have tools to show you. If you can imagine, I thought I had a marker. I thought I had an expo marker here. Oh, here it is. If you can imagine that for every emotion, right, love, hate, that They're easy to use as examples because they're universal. And yeah, because they happen all the time. People hate and people love. We know who we hate and we know who we love. We know what hate is and we know what love is. If you can imagine that we call it a polarity, right? The polarity of love is hate, and the polarity of hate is love. And if we can imagine when one is existing, the other is available. It's available to choose as an option easily. Now, if you're in, let's use the driving example, frustration, how do I spell it? Frustration, right, from the driving incident, the polarity of that would be acceptance. You just accept what just happened. I don't have any control over it, whatever, I'm going to accept it, okay? I'm just making up the polarity as something I can do easily. Now, if I'm in a moment of love, let's say I just got off the phone with one of my kids, and I'm feeling love right now. I'm feeling loved, and I was giving a lot of love, so there's love all around me. I'm not going to turn around and be frustrated at someone. I'm not going to walk around looking like acceptance, right? Kind of neutral zombie. I'm not going to be like that. And I'm not going to be hateful, right? Because I'm in the energy of love, but I could be hateful easily, more easily than these two. Because it's on the same wavelength, because it's the polarity of it. So when you get into a situation where you're having the low frequency, in your mind, it might even benefit you. I was going to do this as the daily homework, but I decided not to, because I didn't want it to be I didn't want anything in the book to be too complicated for anyone to be like, oh, I can't do that, right? But you can. Get a piece of paper, draw a bunch of lines, draw a bunch of emotions that you have. Like, whatever. Draw your emotions, the emotions you feel when you get triggered. When you get triggered, think of those things. We all know what triggers us. We all know how it makes us feel. Name it. Write it on one side of the line. And then you choose what's the opposite of that. What is the opposite of frustration to you? Maybe it's not acceptance. Maybe it's something else. Because when the thing happens that causes the feeling, and you imagine what the polarity of it is, that's where you could choose, that's what you're going to choose in the pause. You're going to choose to create the opposite. So if I'm in hate, which I don't hate a lot of things. I hate situations. So let's say something that really drives me buggy is if I'm near someone who's smacking their gum. That sends me. That sends me to a place, okay? And of course I can't do anything about it. Everyone's got their own free will, and I can't tell somebody else how to chew their gum. But the smacking, the loud smacking, right? And it's funny that I say that because I used to do that, but I'm older now and that really does bother me. But what can I do? So again, I'm very frustrated. Maybe I'm angry. Maybe, I don't know, explosive. Like, I don't know the terminology. I'm going to make something up and say just, I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm annoyed. The opposite of that would still be acceptance. If I could just learn to accept that that person isn't smacking their gum, like in that second, I could tell myself, okay, I'm getting triggered. Oh, here's this person. I have to stand in line behind this person until they leave, or they're behind me, so I'm going to hear this smacking until I leave. Can I do this? Well, I'll just turn it into a game, first of all. I'll tell myself to just try to be in acceptance. Right? Can't do anything about it. Not going to get into a fight about it. Not something to get into a fight about. And I'll make it a game. And I'll say to myself, okay, every smack I notice increases my abundance. Right? If every smack I notice and the louder it gets and the more annoying it could be, right? It's increasing my abundance by a multiplier, by 10, by 100, by a million, by infinity, like whatever. It's a game. So why not say infinity? So here I hear a smack and I'm smiling now. I'm like, okay, cool. My abundance is multiplying by infinity right now. Right? This abundance I'm manifesting for myself. And I'm going about like whatever, it's my turn at the checker and things are getting done, and I notice it again, like, oh, really loud. Nope, she's getting closer, he's getting closer. And I'm like, oh, look at that, my abundance just got bigger again. Cool. And instead of being more annoyed, now I'm happy about it. I'm like, oh, cool. Double infinity. Cool. And then eventually, if it takes too long, that could wear off. That feeling could wear off because maybe the annoyance is too much to just play with it. So then I say, okay, now I'm going to use my focus. So I'm still triggered and I'm still experiencing the thing that's triggering me. What else can I do? I know this is a temporary thing because I'm almost done and I'm going to be leaving, but I'm possibly starting to sweat. I'm having physical signs of this frustration or annoyance. So now I'm telling myself, what was I going to tell myself? Focus. I'm going to focus on the cashier's hands and watch what every finger is doing. And I'm going to put my focus on the cashier's hands. Because when you focus on something, everything kind of goes away. Have you noticed that? I had my babies during a time when they taught us Lamaze because they didn't want to give us pain medication. And they discovered it wasn't good for the baby, so they were trying to reduce that. And so when I got pregnant, I was sent to Lamaze classes to learn how to breathe a certain way and focus and, ignore the pain, not acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge it, then it doesn't hurt as bad, and it's absolutely true. So I was like, okay, let me focus on the cashier's hands, and I'm just staring at I'm just watching the hands. And I'm not looking with my eyes and still hearing the smacking. I'm looking with my eyes and with my brain, I'm saying, what are those fingers doing? The thumb, does this cashier have any, patterns I'm going to notice from the left to the right, this and that? I'm just watching to notice anything about those hands so that I stop hearing the smacking. And that'll work too. And you could focus on, a lot of times I'll just daydream out the window because that daydreaming, right now I could just totally go into a theta state and not hear anything. So the purpose of the awareness is to create the pause so you have the choice of how to deal with this situation that could go good or bad. And you get to decide. And if you're like me and your peace is valuable to you, and at my age, I'll say my peace is valuable to me. Yes, I used to argue with people for no reason, but never really got me anything. I don't even think it was satisfying. Doesn't matter. I don't think I understood that everyone gets to live their own life. And if a person wants to smack their gum, who am I to tell them they can't? I'm not God or the police. I'm not the gum police, the gum chewing police, to tell them you can't do that. That's wrong because it bothers me. I see that a lot on TikTok. People get in fights, especially neighbors. Oh my goodness. They get into fights because one neighbor thinks it's usually an entitlement, right? There's no justification for an entitlement. It's just, this is what I want. I want to park here. This is my spot, blah, 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 whatever. And then they have huge feuds over it, and I'm just thinking, wow, what a waste of time, right? Because somebody's going to die in their sleep, and that was their last experience on life. How sad, right? So let's not I feel like this new way of living will leave you without regrets because you're going to be doing everything you want to do, and everything you do, you're going to be choosing for yourself. So there will be no regrets. So I don't remember where that started. The triggers and the purpose of learning all these daily activities, things that I'm giving you, is so that you can be in control. That is the ultimate self-control, is what can I do? What can I do in this moment where something could really send me over to the dark side? What are my options instead of that? And when you choose like acceptance, it's easy to get to it because it's right there, the polarity of what you're experiencing, which is the annoyance. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you tomorrow.